Okay, we're going to try the example on page 201. The example says the property in Miller County is assessed at 50% of market value with a tax rate of $5.95 per $100 valuation. Mr. Jones owns a farm with a market value of $400,000. Determine the amount of property tax he is required to pay annually. Okay, so the first step is we have to calculate the assessed value of the property. So you can see that it's assessed at 50% and it has a market value of $400,000. So what we do is we take the market value, in this case is $400,000, and it's valued at 50%. So the assessed value is 50%. So we're going to multiply it. We're going to find out what is 50% of 400,000. So in order to do that, we need to change the percent to a decimal. So we're not going to multiply by 50. 50% in a decimal form is 0.5. So if we multiply that out, 400,000 times 0.5, we find out that the assessed value of this property is 200,000. So this is the assessed. This is what we need. You always need to make sure you have the assessed value before you move forward. Okay, so once we have the assessed value, we need to determine the number of hundreds because it says the tax rate is $5.95 per $100 valuation. So you basically have to find out how many hundreds fit into 200,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our assessed value, 200,000, and we're going to divide it by 100 to find out how many 100 units there are inside of that value. So when I do that, the answer is 2,000. So essentially there are 2,000 hundreds inside of 200,000. Every one of those is valued at $5.95. So our very last steps, this is step 1, step 2, and step 3, our last step, now that we've figured out how many $100 increments are inside our assessed value, take how many there are, 2,000, and now multiply it by the tax rate. So they tell us it's worth $5.95 for every $100 value. Let's do the math on that. 2,000 times $5.95, you get $11,900. So how much is the property tax due? It would be $11,900. So to do that, you find out the assessed value of the property. So they'll usually give you the market value. Make sure you pay attention to see if they actually give you the assessed value. But if they don't, you need to calculate it using the percentage they tell you. Make sure you change the percentage to a decimal form. Once you find the assessed value, divide it by whatever the tax rate determination is. They'll let you know in the question. Usually it's divided by 100 or divided by 1,000. Then once you find that, you multiply that by the tax rate, and that will give you how much property tax is due. Okay, so that's page 201.